Hey guys, how is it going? I'm back with another session on Lousy Gamer. Today, we wanted to test the theory that's pretty much everywhere about the Tier 1. I'm a firm believer of this. So, if you remember one of the videos that I posted early days, it's about how T1s are very important in your mix, and how it's going to protect you from losing a lot of T4 because it's going to take most of the hits. So we just want to do that testing. Obviously, I don't. I'll try to get as much as possible with the limited troops that we have for for testing purposes. So what we're trying to do today is I'm going to get my friend Park to help me with the test today. So the idea today is to look at uh, various mix between T1 and T4 mostly. A lot of people are going towards having a lot of T4s, and then they feel like T1s are pretty kind of useless. Uh, so so this test, I wanted to kind of prove that T1s are as important as T4. So what we're going to do is we'll have 5 or 6 different scenarios. So the first scenario would be 50-50 T1 and T4. So Park would be using his vehicles, and he will be using all the leaders in the city, and I will be using just the T4 demolition, because just wanted to kind of give the best attack without any leaders. I'm just going to send out a march of pretty much the same amount of troops that they have. So a park has. So this is to test how much of troops will be lost at 2 different tiers, and what is the absolute power loss every time when we get hit. So that would actually prove the theory in terms of the absolute power loss and also the number of troops, to say that we can conclude whether T1s are taking most of the hits and saving your T4s, or Ember has a different setup for us. So the test 1 would be 50-50 T1 and T4. Second test would be 70% T1 and 30% T4. And test 3 would be 10% T1 and 90% T4. And the fourth test would be 90% T1 and 10% T4. And T4 will be overloaded with T4. This is for the people who thinks that T4 is the only way to go. That would be 0% T1 and T4, all T4. And then the last one, we just want to do a balance, 10k of each tier. We'll have T1, T2, T3 and T4 to get a percentage of loss among all 4 tiers. So just to get that. So what happens from the other side is I'll be sending 50k troops all the time to hit. So all the camps that you see here that Park is doing right now is the extra troops that we are trying to take out of the city. So he'll message me once the city is ready for hit. So I see a message in here. Okay, so 25k T1 and 25k T4 is ready. So that's our first test. So I'm going to send 50k of T4, and I know advanced troops are different, so we'll come there a bit different. So we'll do that on a different time, but today we are trying just the regular troops. Most of the people do have a lot of regular troops, so we just try to see what we can actually get out of this. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick check on the troops. Okay, so 50k, 25k of T4 and 25k of pickup, as you can see. And I'm going to send the... I haven't seen what the boosts are, so I don't have any boost. Even if you look at my hero skills, you can actually see it's all set to defense. So mine is the least that you can actually get the troops out. So I just wanted to see how much of a lousiest hitter can also take the power out of you. So I'm pretty sure he has all the boosts ready for him. So I'm going to attack with no leaders, no hero, all T4 demolition troops. Okay, I'm sending 50k, just 1:1. I'm gonna speed this up a bit, otherwise it's gonna take forever to hit. Okay, so I'm going to take notes as well so that we get some numbers for us. Okay, so this is what happened. So I sent 50k. What I lost is 7906 of T4. So that's about 380k power loss. And what he lost is basically he used all human leader and the infected leader on me. So what he lost is T1 9000 and T4 is 2354. I mean, I kind of see how the theory is working. So this is, again, a lot of people would know this is obvious, but I just wanted to do a test and document this so that if somebody says that this is not the right setup, then you can show this video. So I'm just doing a calculation here. Okay, that should be 2. Okay, so what he lost is about 131k power. So and what I lost is about 379. Okay, so the next test. So the next test will be T1 overloaded heavy, which is 70% T1 and 30% T4. Even with 50-50, you can actually see that your T1s are protecting your T4, so which is not bad. Your loss is kind of reduced a lot. I mean, even though you lost in terms of percentage wise, you lost about 10% of your T4 and about 20% or no 40% of your 1/4. I would say roughly. No, it should be. Sorry, give me a second. So that's about 36% of your T1s are dead, and about roughly about 9 or 10% of your 9.5% of your T4s are dead. So your T1s are definitely taking the most of the hits. So 50-50 is still looking positive to prove the theory, and I can't wait to do the next test. So I'll get a message once he's ready with the second test. So I'm going to do a quick recon to see if the troops are ready. So it should be 70-30, which is 35% T1 and 35k of T1 and 15k of T4. Okay, so I can see 35k of pickup truck and 15k of zombie dozer. So I'm ready to send the same march size that I sent earlier. So I'm going to do a 50k march. So excuse me, I'm going to do a speed up here. Just don't want to wait. Okay, I think I got a message that it's ready with that. Okay, so this will be interesting to see. Okay, so what I have, what I lost is about kind of lesser. So I think the more T4 you have, it's going to have an impact on your enemy's troops, so which makes sense. So last time what he lost is about 11,000, and here it's still the same, about 11 something, 500 more. So from a defense standpoint, you're still doing well. It's just that you are not killing more troops that you did last time. So So what I lost in terms of power is lesser than last time. So 287.9, which is 287k versus 379k. And what he lost here, it's going to be interesting to see. So he lost about 10k of 10.86836 of T1. That's about 21,000 in power, and from a T4 perspective, it's about 54,816. So from a defense standpoint, he kind of lost only half the power. So the more T1s you have, it's definitely helping you with saving your troops. That proves again, people, if you think T1s are not really that useful, now it's time to change again. As you can see, the net loss in terms of percentage, if you have a heavy T1 load, you can actually see that the T4 loss has reduced from 9.4% to 7.6%. So you got about roughly about 1.8% advantage when you have more T1s. Again, with a lot more numbers, it would change. We'll also try to do this next time with the advanced troops to see if there is any difference. So as you can see, there is a 5% reduction in terms of overall T1 loss, and also 1.8% reduction in loss for T4. I did the same. I did send only 50,000. As you can see, I didn't change anything, and the leaders didn't change, and you can actually see how much of difference it makes with more T1s in place. Okay, so the third test that we wanted to do is 5k T1, which is T1 weak. So this is something closer to what people do most of the time now. So we'll do a T1. Sorry, I think I need to check one more thing. Give me a second. Okay, so I thought he had some defenses, so nothing of that sort. What we're going to do now, the third one is 5k of T1 and 45k of T4. This is pretty much what the average setup that we have in the region. So I'm just going to do a scout to ensure that the troops are exactly the same as what we just discussed about. So 45k of T4 and 5k of pickup truck. Okay, so that's what we have. Same test. So I'm going to send boomers 50k march. For the interest of time, I'm going to do a quick march. So my gut feel about this test, this particular test, would be Park would actually lose more power, and I would actually lose lesser. So my power loss would be even lesser than the first two scenarios. So let's see what the test is all about. The results are all about. Yeah, I lost 13k troops. Wow, I think I lost more in here. Okay, so that's roughly, I think my what I thought was wrong. So here I lost more. I lost about 627k in power, and what he lost is only 7k, which is lower than last time. So as you can see, 2472 is what T1 lost, and 5423 is the okay, so this is what we have. This is interesting test. So what he lost is about 265 power. So he lost more. Obviously, your T1s are not protecting your T4s, but on the flip side, I don't know whether it's flip side for me or for Park, but actually, yeah, for me actually, I lost 627, so I lose more. So net, what happened here is I lost a lot, and he lost more than last two occasions as well. So with this setup, what happened is, if you have a weak T1 load, you're going to lose 50% of your T1, which is pretty less, and 12.1% of your T4. So your loss ratio in terms of troops is also higher. So the uh, yeah, obviously the it goes by percentage, I reckon. So in terms of total troops. So if I have to do total power loss in terms of both T1 and T4, okay, let me add this up. So I think what Ember is trying to do here is take the percentage of the troops, right? So that could be one of the reason. Yeah, so it's taking about 22 to 23% on the T1 heavy. When you actually have T4 heavy and T1 lesser, it's actually doing only 15% of troop damage. Because I think net they want to take the power percentage off a person. So test number 3, what happened was I lost 265k worth of power. 627k worth of power, and Park lost about 265. Okay, so the next test is ready. So it will be 50k of T4. So that oh no, it should be another one. It should be T1 overloaded. Let me write to him. Okay. So if he's kind of ready with this, I'll go with the next test, which is T4 overloaded. This is again a lot of people do that scenario. So let me get this one. So it's all 50k zombie dozer. I'm going to just get this test done because I don't want to confuse Spark. So let me get this 50k. Okay, if you have all T4s, this is what's going to happen to you. So I lost about 15k of my troops. 15042. So in terms of power loss, I have 722. This is the highest so far. And what Park has lost is 6,517 of his T4. So he lost about 312k. So again, this is the maximum that he has lost in terms of power. So it's up to you on how you want to manage this. But as you can see, having T1 kind of gives you a shield to protect you. So the more you have T4s or higher tiers, the percentage troop loss is kind of adjusted because it's not a standard percentage. As you can see, with all T1 50-50 you had 22%, 70-30 T1 heavy had about 23%, and weaker, when your T1 count is getting weaker and weaker and weaker, you will actually see that the percentage drops to 15. So if you think that should be the, let me, yeah, so I want to do a 10% T4 and 90% T1. I just wanted to add a bit more to this and see how that goes. So as you can see that the more T4s that you have, the opponents will actually die. And obviously I'm not using any leaders, so that might change the equation here, and I'm not doing any other boosts, but just purely from attacking without any boosts and purely based on your research points or your core strength, this is what's happening. So I would actually say, I would still say that T1s are really helping here. Otherwise actually you will actually lose a bit more power. If you think this is definitely works for you, when I say definitely works for you, it's about speed healing, right? So most of your T1 is going into your hospitals, and then it's kind of quick, free. It's just instant heal, and all you need is to be online, and then if somebody hits, you keep replenishing your T1 or healing your T1s, so they're going to take most of the hit. So far the results are kind of showing that the heavier amount of T1s you have, you will have a lesser power loss, but also needs to take note of it where the opponent will also not be done quickly. So the power loss on the opponent is also as low as yours. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick check here. So this one will be 45k of T1 and 5k of T4. So this is again heavy T1. Just wanted to get one more view on that to prove the theory. Okay, let me get this. So I think it's about how everybody's individual preferences. Some people would like to just go crazy with T4s, and opponent loses a lot. So as you can see, the difference between 70% T1s and 30% T4s versus all T4s, the opponent loses like crazy, but you also lose like crazy. So opponent loses about 2.5 times more, but you lose about 6 times more of your power. So I don't know whether it's worth that. I mean, some people say it's worth it. So here you go. So T1 loss. So I sent about T4 50,000. I lost only about 4296. So the absolute power loss is still about 206k, and what Park lost is about 11,154 of T1s and just 313 of his T4s. So this is awesome, right? So as you can see, his power loss is less than 40k, and I lost 206k. So it proves again, go build your mad T1 troops. Again, once the T1s went up, the loss percentage or went up to 22.9. So absolute power loss wise, I still lost about 206k, but Park did save a lot of his power, which is only about 15k of T4s, that's and 22k of T1 in terms of power loss. So it's again proving that having T1s is definitely good. So I'm going to do one test, all 10k spread T1 to T4. So yeah, so I definitely had this faith in this theory, though my count on T1s are very low. So I think off late I lost track on building those. So I think, as you can see, the ratio between my troops and T1s are still way off. I was also kind of doing some tests on T3. So what I did is I did build some T3s because it also offers 75% of what T4 offers at a half the cost. So I thought it's a good trade-off. So I kind of built T3s as well. So now I think in the next couple of weeks it's time to build tons of T1s to match. I would say in terms of percentage wise, go crazy. If you have 100 million troops, you should have at least 50 million troops of T1s. They're going to save your ass on a long run. If you're going for a defense, if you're going in attack, I think we'll have to try that. I'll do another test with Park probably in a couple of days. So that test will be how much of percentage. I think I did one of the videos earlier. That shows what's the percentage of loss when you send your troops with mixed percentage. Though I think a lot of people like to send full panzer marches. Maybe it's time to kind of look into the mix of troops that you're sending. I think last time I concluded T3 was having a good mix of T3 would be good enough, but we'll have to do that test again. And also I heard from other friends that they do the similar test with the same location multiple times, and then they got multiple results. So, which I don't know. Again, there could be some other external factors that's changing the algorithm of the attacks. But so far, the test looks okay. T1s are very important for us. So I'm going to do a quick recon to conclude the last test, um, and then we can end the video. So 62k is what he has. So I need another. Okay, so 3k of zombie dosers, and I don't think he has done that yet. So I'll wait for his message. Again, this test I put in as one of the scenarios because I wanted to see how if you have a mixed one. I mean, don't again go into T1s, all T1s and T4s. I mean, the balance looks okay. Lost about 112 versus 379. So I still see that T1 heavy is good. But having T2s and T3s, will that save your T4s even more, right? So that's something that I wanted to try with equal 25% of each troop tier. So if that kind of saves your T4s, I think the percentage wise we'll have 50% T1s, and then another 20% can be a mix between T2 and T3s, and the rest 30% could be T4s. So that way you still have a good mix. So looks like he is ready for the last one. Okay, one quick check. Okay, so what we have here, 10k of each. So I'm going to send 10k of each as well, all T4, so that it's the same. So commandos 10k, zombie doser 10k, bombers 10k. Okay, so that's 30k. All T4, 3 tiers. Sorry, 3 types of. So for me, it's more about how much I am going to lose. So from this test, more than what he would lose. So I lost 7364. So that's about 353k in power loss. That's quite a lot because of the mix, maybe. So what he lost in terms of T1s is about 3k. As you can see, that's kind of growing actually, right? So he lost about 6k there, and zombie dozers he lost only 768, even lower than last time. So that's about 36k, 40k in T1s and T4s alone. So he lost about 1484 in terms of armor G, 1009 of his battle bus. So let me do a quick math. I didn't realize I had to prepare this. Armor G is about 8 power. Okay, let me do that. And this one should be 32, if I'm right. 24, sorry. Okay, so the net power loss that he has is about 789k. This is the fucking biggest. Sorry, 78992. Sorry, 78992. Okay, so that's what he lost, 78k worth of power, versus what I lost is 353.4. So kind of conclusion is I'm going to do a percentage based on attack versus. So 34% loss versus attacker in the scenario 1, and 26% in scenario 2, 42% in scenario 3. So when you have weak T1 mix, you're going to lose more. So that's the conclusion. So I'll try to put a video with all the information in it, so you guys can see. I have jotted down the numbers, and I'll try to put that into a PowerPoint presentation and send it to you guys. So this one will definitely proves that having a T1 is worth it. Again, depends on your playing style. So, but I'll leave that to you on to decide. But what I concluded here is build more freaking T1s and have and have some fun. Okay, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll be back with more videos soon with even attacking with T1s and stuff. Stay tuned, and if you have not subscribed to my video, so please do so, and hit that like button as well. So I would like to have more likes to build the community, and thanks for subscribing whoever did so in the past. We are getting closer to 1,000 subscribers, and I think it's mostly because of Empire Z videos, and I really thank every one of you for the support that you're giving. Thanks for watching, and now you can see the conclusion slides for your knowledge. Thanks.